Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Reality Bites. It's Wednesday morning. I hope you're all doing great today. I want to talk for a little bit about Luke chapter 7. I'm going to talk about Luke chapter 7, trying to piggyback a little bit off of what we talked about on Monday, but hear about Jesus and our relationship with him. Listen, we all go through tough times. We all go through struggle. We all go through pain. We all go through just hard stuff that makes it seem like everything is crazy and there's no connection or relationship. I want to talk to you a little bit about John the Baptist. Now, if you know anything about John the Baptist, you'll know that he is the cousin of Jesus Christ. So there is a natural relationship that exists between Jesus and John the Baptist. However, not going to dwell on that, not going to hit that point too much, but let's go back to chapter 3 of Luke, before chapter 7, and here where Jesus was coming along the way, and Luke saw him to baptize him. And if you've been in church any amount of time, even if you're not, you may have heard of John the Baptist. And John, in this particular area, exalted who Jesus was, praised who Jesus was, confirmed that he was the Son of God, and heard the Spirit of God, heard God himself say when he was baptized, when the heavens opened up and the dove, in the form of the dove, the Spirit came, "This is my Son in whom I'm well pleased." So there was confirmation running all around. Now fast forward, chapter 7. Listen, John's in trouble. He's imprisoned. He's about to be beheaded. Some shady business going on. So John is in a bind. So John says to his disciples, you know, the dudes that followed him, like the one that would later follow Christ, he says, go back to Jesus and find out or ask him, is he the one we're looking for, or do we look for another? I like that, not so much because he doubts Jesus. I don't like the doubting Jesus part, but I like the fact that it's a real and a relevant piece of information that we all need to know. It's a real point of contention, a real point of tension that we often have as believers. You get into jams, you get into hard spots, you get into where you have a rock, between a rock and a hard place, and you ask, are you really who you said you are? Are we really connected in the way that you say we're connected? You often find that even in your natural relationships, that with your friends and family members, when the going gets tough, the tough often get going the other way. And so we always hear stuff about when we go through trials and hard times and difficult circumstances, that's the stuff that proves our family and our friends and who's really on our side, who's really got our back, who's ride or die, with us. So that's what we pick up when we go through trial. So John is asking a real question that shouldn't be glossed over because he asked it, but rather we need to look at how we're seeing Jesus. Look, we already talked about the fact that he had a natural relationship, but it caused him to doubt the heavenly identity of who Jesus was. We found out in Luke chapter 3 that he exclaimed him, he proclaimed him, he lifted him up as the Son of God, as the one we've been waiting for, the Messiah. But now it all comes into question. Now you and I have often seen that when you get into a bad jam, we get into a bad situation, and we say, Jesus, not are you there, but are you the one you said you were? Because him being there and him being who he said he is are two different things. He can be there with you, true enough, and give you comfort and hang alongside you. But if he's not who he said he is, as far as being Christ, then the power is gone, the blessing is gone, the encouragement is gone, the courage is gone, the gift of the Spirit is gone, the anointing over our lives and that situation is gone if he's not who he said he is. So never get too deep and too sunken down in your situation to where you begin to doubt who God said he is or doubt him. And if you ever do get to that place, just remember what he said. Remember the past times of how he's shown himself faithful, even when you've been in jams worse than this. See, it's easy to isolate our jam, but let's fast forward a little bit. Even in chapter 7, the response that Jesus sent back to John by his disciples was a list of blessings, a list of miraculous things being done. So he's saying, I know you are in a troublesome place right now, but I want you to see the bigger picture, the bigger perspective of what it is that I'm doing, and let that be the concrete that solidifies and gels together the identity of who I am. Listen, you can look at your situation an isolated box and say, I'm going through hell, today. I said it. I'm going through hell today. But Christ will point you back to all the other wonderful things he's doing, all the wonderful things he's done. And he wants you to put what you're going through that's isolated in the box, and he wants you to share it with the rest of what you have in your world. And put it on that mantle for the rest of the things in your world. That way you're able to see that, yes, this is tough. Yes, this is crazy. But you have a whole circle, a whole collection of things I've done for you and will continue to do for you, and ways I'll continue to bring you out and help you and encourage you and fill you with my spirit, that you can take this out of the isolation and put it there and see that I am who I said I am. Listen, that's all that we have for today. I think I'm overtime even, but we'll come back tomorrow because I actually want to go into an expose or a detail on the Lord's Prayer and let you know why it's really not the Lord's Prayer. That's controversial already, but we'll dig into it tomorrow. Listen, I love you. Thank you for tuning into Reality Bites.